Cancer, the moon is in Libra and she's inviting us to establish a buddy system for this full moon that's getting ready to happen tomorrow there. And she's going to be in a lengthy void, of course. Stay tuned to find out more, Cancer. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Cancer. And it keeps us going. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. My name's Justin, and I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, if you're also new, this channel, or the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. Oh, this one. No, come back, Cancer. I'm not shooing you away. And I do tarot cards. I don't know what my hands are doing lately. Mercury retrograde. And I do tarot card spreads based on our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and where she's going, boy, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware there, Cancer, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me. Never force reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Oh, look at that. So dope, Cancer. 2 thumbs up. Now, I better bring it. Let's jump into it. All right, Cancer spirits are high. I'm with it. And your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And of course, how could it not? Because Cancer is a lovely day for those Cancer placements, because Happy Moon Day. The moon is associated with Monday's Cancer. And I feel too, in getting towards this full moon that's getting ready to happen here, because when we're getting in the realms of Scorpio, this can bring up some more deeper emotions, some intense maybe fears, some anxiety, but it's Scorpio reveals to us the truth, to a situation. It's what we do with that truth afterwards. That's the power in Scorpio. It allows that energy to evolve, but we'll talk a bit more about that tomorrow. But this energy with the moon, this is a time to tune in to your emotions there, Cancer. Moon days, I feel like, are really great for just kind of checking in. I always find it interesting that we start the day or the week, the work week off on moon days. Really, Mars days, I feel, would be a more appropriate day. Moon days is a time to kind of kick it with the family there, Cancer. So if you have some time, kick it around the home space, maybe doing some chores around the home, doing some things that can just make you feel nurtured and taken care of. Maybe cook yourself a home cooked meal. Just tend to yourself there, Cancer. Maybe having some music kind of playing in the background. Picture you humming a tune, Cancer, rolling something with a pen. Yeah, you're just being all motherly, Cancer. I'm with it. And Cancer, this is a great time to do some kind of meditative practices like that, Cancer, because it's not all meditation, not just all about just sitting down on the ground and maybe being uncomfortable and doing some deep breathing. It could be cooking and gardening and other things too, Cancer. But the moon is going to be going void, of course. And this is going to be a pretty lengthy one there, Cancer. She's going to be going void, of course, from 4:23 p.m., and that will be Pacific time. And she'll be moving from Libra into Scorpio on Tuesday, the 23rd, Mars Day, at about 8:19 a.m. And the resonance, oh, interesting, Cancer. Very interesting. I like that. Yeah, yes, I like that. But the void, of course, energy, Cancer, is when the moon forms her final aspect with a celestial body. And it just so happens that she's going to be forming it with Venus. And so the resonance of this void, of course, is going to have an opposition to Venus, because Venus is towards those last degrees in Aries, as the moon is getting ready to enter into Scorpio. And the Libra energy has been going through a lot with all this Aries energy that has been going on here over the last few weeks. We've been very Aries fueled. And with this opposition, or the flavor of this void, of course, I feel that this is looking at areas in life where things aren't maybe sitting well. It feels like because Libra is about harmony, about finding that equilibrium. And if you're feeling maybe indecisive about something, that can be a shadow side of Libra. Or if you're feeling just something just doesn't like, it just doesn't feel right. Something's coming up here. This is where the moon, and then we'll talk about more of that how the moon in Libra works in a little bit. But with this void of course, I feel like this is really kind of understanding your relationship with these kind of uncomfortable energies that may be coming up as we're getting towards this moon in Scorpio energy, Cancer. What are some things that you're sensing? Because the tricky thing with Scorpio, if you repress stuff, then that just becomes, it starts to work behind the scenes because we don't want to deal with it. It's not necessarily saying that you have to, get it tackled all at once, but I do feel like there's this acknowledgement of something being awry or something that's needing to be adjusted in some sort of way, because Libra is fair, and we don't want to give just the fun, the easy sides of the journey. How do I want to put this? We all come with this light and dark that we're working with. There's always balance. There's good and evil, good and bad, but it's all just energies there, Cancer. But I do feel we want to make sure that we're giving, the light can't exist without the dark, and the dark can't exist without the light. So giving them that fair attention, just so that we understand what the needs are, so that they can keep flowing in harmony. I feel the reason that we've developed such an aversion to the stuff, because we wanted things to be kind of easy. The kind of shadow side of Venus. Venus can be very, in a Venus reflected in a shadow way, can be very, she expects everything. She's the empress. Like, why shouldn't she have it all and just be, just feed me and give me the stuff, and that's mine, and it's, but we have to work for it. In Venus on the lighter, because that's the Taurus side, and Libra works too. But the Taurus side of her is the gardener. She understands this, and it's a very kind of complex energy, because the void, of course, I feel too, is a time for going within, Cancer. Because when you think about the moon, this is the last conversation that she's had with the moon, and she's taken a long time to process this energy. She won't be having another conversation until until she enters Scorpio. And so this I feel is really kind of, there can be a lot that can come up with this, Cancer. And I feel like this is a time the void, of course, is great for just like, again, taking care of yourself, doing some meditation, reflecting on this stuff, maybe journaling about these things, finding some ways to get yourself in balance. And as you're processing this stuff too, and this is going to flow kind of nicely as we get into where the moon's at, she's in a waxing gibbous in Libra. And I feel like that buddy system, this I feel can be a great time. I feel like one question, Cancer, is who do you turn to when things feel kind of tough? Do you have someone to kind of lean on? Because yes, it is nice to be able to handle things by ourselves, and be able to be self-sustaining, but we're not meant to just be by ourselves. Even as we're thinking about the full moon, that's an opposition. And of the houses, it's split down the middle. Half of the houses are 1 through 6 are about what's going on within, and then the 7 through 12 are what's going on with outside of ourselves. And so there's always going to be that interaction between self and other as we're going through this journey. So I feel like it's asking, do you have those things when you're feeling in these opposing views? And Cancer, one thing too I wanted to mention with that void, of course, this energy can be an energy where starting up things can be tricky. Usually it's translated as nothing happens. And this could be something where I feel a real kind of clever way to work with this energy would be if we have any, because when we're thinking about opposing Venus in opposition, there could be some tension in some relationships. And so this could be where we could come to a relationship with the idea of letting it go, of like nothing happen, of like, like it not blowing out of proportion, of there, because there won't be, I feel like, the energy there for that. It would just be they came with diplomacy, so that may be something to explore with the void of course time there, Cancer. But with this, again, with this moon in Libra, this I feel is a time to share with others. Whether you can meet up with someone, I feel like that's always beneficial to have a face-to-face interaction. But even if it's doing like through maybe a Zoom call, FaceTime, even just like I've been talking with my friends like via Facebook Messenger, and that's been a new way of me communicating. But I've been really enjoying it. We've been able to touch back pace when we get to it. There's no kind of real pressure behind it, and it's shown where I putting it's been a really cool process. And so I feel like, do you have those people that you can talk to? What are maybe some relationships that you've been wanting to rekindle, maybe that you've been wanting to maybe take to the next, like take it to a deeper level as we go into this Scorpio energy? I feel this can be one where friendships, I feel like in relationships, one-on-one relationships could really kind of shine here. And not as a form of a test, but more so as a form of a testament to how great the individuals are in your journey there, Cancer. So that's something too, I feel, because with all this stuff that I feel is going on here too, we talk about all these big energies, all the things that are going on in the planet, the great things, the not so great things. It's Libra, a lot of the zodiac signs have a natural way of kind of coping with stuff, but Libra doesn't. They just have to balance it out. There's almost an acceptance here. Libra is a very brilliant sign. They've made this deal with chaos. They're constantly seeing. They see both sides of things, but I feel that there's even a deeper relationship here with your journey that's happening, because yeah, it's very interesting what I'm getting, especially because we've been in a lot of this Aries Libra energy. The nodes are in that Aries Libra axis for a little while longer, so that's what I'm getting with this energy, Cancer. Talking with a buddy for sure. And one way too, Cancer. When we're talking about working with the energies there, if you're curious about how these chart energies are working in your chart, book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below, and I also have links on my Instagram page as well. But one example of how, when we're talking about when you want to see like how to put the stuff into action. So I actually did a live with Jamie. She has the ears of wisdom, the lips of understanding. It may be vice versa on that ending part, but two very fantastic channels. I highly recommend her stuff. It's really cool, the stuff that she's doing. But I did a live with her, and we had to reschedule initially, and when I was picking the times, I was like, oh, you know what better day than to do this on a moon day? Both our sun signs are in Cancer. Both our rising signs are in Leo. And when the moon is in Leo, depending on, I don't have her chart details, but depending on where her rising sign is at, the moon would be roughly both passing through both of our third houses, which is the house of communication. So it would have been a perfect time for us to convey, and the moon is in Libra, so that's a very social energy as well. I scheduled it so that I was before the void of course time. That's how you can actively work with this stuff and it was a very lovely conversation that we ended up having. It was very, the energies were very harmonious. And so these are some ways that you can work with this stuff. It's not just planning for preparation for doom. You could really take something as simple as a moon day and just really kind of milk it for what it's got there, Cancer. So that's one applicable way of working with the energies as they're going on. Very simple way, but it's, you get in the flow of this stuff just working with the moon by itself. That, in a way, knowing what house she's transiting through. Because if I would have did it while I was in Scorpio, she's going through my fourth house, and where I wouldn't have minded, she's eventually going to hit Pluto. That's going to bring maybe up some intense feelings. Maybe I'm not feeling it that day. The moon's having a lot of conversations with like 90% of my chart. So those kind of things it can help you be mindful of, so you know how to take care of yourself, how to get in the flow of you, and just to explore how that works for you there, Cancer. But yeah, if that resonates with you, definitely check that down in the description box below. I have all that information for you down there. But let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day, Cancer, because speaking of where you go, you have the Enchanted Fern Grotto here, which is a card of refuge. And that's where I was kind of talking about earlier, the Cancer. This is the 16th energy here, which is Tower energy. And I feel like, because we all go through a crisis from time to time. Again, who do you find refuge in? And not in, I feel like, a codependent type of way. This is someone that I feel can provide that space of, I had a situation where, focus with my solar return this year was in the house of friendships. The moon was there, and that's usually where changes end up happening. And I've had a recent kind of shifts that have been kind of happening. And one of the positive shifts that I had was I met someone who has not only kind of showed me what that looks like, kind of showing up, but will also be there to check me when I may be getting out of lines, being able to, but we can have these moments where there is this reciprocity where even if we reach a place where we don't necessarily agree, we can have this mutual, all right, I agree to disagree. Let's move on to a different topic. There's no need to dwell on that. And it's lovely too, because we're both Gemini, have our moons in Gemini, so we can just breeze right through that. It's literally water under the bridge. And she's a Sag. There's a whole lot of stuff that lines up with that. But I feel that it is important to have that support system, but to not just have that, but to be there for others too. It's, we need to be there together. We're all going through different transits. I may need a little more support when the moon's in Scorpio, but then I can be there for someone when the moon's in Leo, when I'm all lit up, or when the moon's in Sag and she's trining my signs and I have all that optimism, and really can tap into it. So, we're all there to sing this song together, all part of this, I feel, grand orchestra here. So I feel, and again, the ultimate, I feel, goal of Pluto and Aquarius even is for us to be able to find refuge in community. But it all starts on an individual level, and I feel like it is connecting with each other a bit more, establishing that sense. There's a lot of dissonance, sometimes we're not even interested in even hearing what the energy sound like, even trying to interact there. So that's very interesting, Cancer. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Alrighty, Cancer. Thank you, higher self. Let's see what's going on here. And this one got a little bit. Ooh, Cancer. Look at the Cancer. Oh, we were talking about this. I'm with it, Cancer. Oh, yeah, we're about to go in. So, Cancer, you have. So, here's Mars, the Tower. I love when higher self does that. You have the Tower, Mars, the Magician, Mercury, the Lust card, Leo, or the Strength card. And then the Five of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Five of Cups, and then the Prince of Cups here, Cancer. Let's start with the Prince of Cups. Because the Prince of Cups, in this one, especially in this card, I always picture him. There's something about him that he's got something bottled up here. This is Scorpio energy for me. And Scorpio has a tendency, it's not that they don't want to share, but there's this energy. You want to be, I feel like there's a caution. It's just like, can people handle what my emotions? Like, do you know what you're asking for, and this and that, and what if, but I feel like the Prince of Cups has something bottled up here, something that is, and I feel like when we suppress those energies there, Cancer, as far as like when we're feeling frustrations, when we're going through maybe disappointments, when we're going through Tower moments, that can mess up. Not like it throws the flow of your energy off here. I feel with the Ace of Wands, it messes with the manifestation here, the Magus card, and taps and mess with your strength there, Cancer. It can sap the lust out of life out of you, and I feel that with these if you've been keeping things kind of bottled up here, Cancer, because I feel like, we're getting in a place where the dialogue is changing a little bit. I feel like people are feeling a lot more, like acknowledging the feelings a lot more, and for how irrational they can be sometimes. But it's nice, I feel, to when you've put in that work and kind of understood, you've sought refuge in yourself. But sometimes when you have more complex things that you don't understand, it's nice to be able to seek that refuge and have a different point of view. Look at this eye of Shiva here, being able to see something that you weren't able to help bring you in to a sense of balance. And I feel like this is not, with the Five of Cups, maybe there might be energies of, it's interesting. I'm getting, maybe we're ashamed of maybe admitting some things, maybe because, it could be one of those things that maybe, how could we have not realized this, or whatever this is, Cancer. But it may have just been in a blind spot. Who knows what that could have looked like here. But the Five of Wands, I'm thinking about, in the Rider White deck, there are these figures. There's like all these people that are kind of in this sort of, they're practicing. They're not actually like fighting. They're working out a problem here, and I feel like this Five of Wands it's like it's working. That's interesting. That's so fascinating. So with the Five of Wands, this is Saturn and Leo, and I just got this message of like, when you don't know what to do, that's when you ask for help. And it's not that I feel like you're surrendering your power in a sense. You're getting clarity on that, and then seeing how that resonates with you, and then what is coming next. So, I feel that, especially with us being where now the sun is in Taurus, Venus will be entering into Taurus on the 29th of March. Yes, or March. So she's already there. No, the 29th of April, that's when she'll be entering. And that is going to, I feel, as these new, because I feel that the eclipse was a pretty big tower moment, a very subtle one, but a big one. I feel like I feel like it's building, Cancer. And I feel like as we're going through this year, things are going to change, values. And I feel like it's not like just a typical, I feel like it's maybe something that kind of comes out of nowhere here, like, and not in a, to be afraid, Cancer, but in a, be aware that your needs are changing. You're absolutely, Knight of Wands, going towards a different direction here. But let me get some more tarot on this, Cancer, see what's going on. Okay. Take care of yourself. Alright. A lot of energy here, Cancer. So you have the Eight of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Knight of Wands. Yeah, a lot of energy here, Cancer. The Four of Disc, the Eight of Disc, the Princess of Disc, and then the Three of Cups here, Cancer. Now, the Three of Cups, this is an abundant energy here, and I feel like there's an abundance in groups. This is Mercury in Cancer, and Mercury, the Magus card, can be one of our functions is communication. And I feel like it's the people that you're seeking refuge in, Cancer. Do you feel that there is this energy of abundance? And I don't mean that it's not like we're not coming with a problem. Like, it's not like we're not allowing ourselves to feel down. But if the energies are just staying down, because it's one thing to be feeling some sort of way and needing time to process that, absolutely. But then there does come a question as, where are we going to go next from this once we have had a moment to get ourselves together, that we've taken the time to process whatever this is? How do we get the energies moving? Because you do have quite a bit of wands here, Mars taking this action here, this even Leo, But the Knight of Wands here, that's very interesting. What he's giving me is a more so this case of he's real hot. He's used to just doing stuff on his own. He's Ace of Wands. He's holding the Ace of Wands. He's pretty much full steam ahead, and I feel that I feel, especially as we still have these few days of Mercury retrograde. This is a time I feel to kind of slow down, to kind of get your bearings there, and to get some ideas kind of grounded here, Cancer. Kind of bounce some ideas off some people. Maybe talk about how maybe you're thinking about changing up your routine, changing up how you're doing things. I even feel too like, because sometimes I feel we've almost become a little antisocial sometimes, Cancer. Like there's this fear, there's this anxiety around even socializing, as I've been kind of talking with some friends and hearing some stuff as people are starting to connect and things. It's been a collectively it's been a tough few we've been through quite a bit. And I feel that there's this thing here of the eight of disc is like, I feel like we've been maybe keeping busy to maybe not deal with some things, or maybe just taking on stuff, and there's a need to just kind of sit down and again kind of process this stuff. There's the eight of wands is a very fast moving energy. There's this Mercury in Sagittarius, so the mind is all over the place. And I feel like it's all right, Cancer, I think I'm going to leave that there. But let's get some advice from Venus. Lovely Empress. Oh, Cancer! There we are. All right, Cancer. Last little bit here. Oh, how fascinating, Cancer. So you have the... How fascinating, Cancer. A lot of Venus energy here. So you have the Nine of Disc, the Two of Cups, the Seven of Cups, all Venus's cards. Then you have the Death card, Scorpio here, and the Chariot, our card here, Cancer. Let's switch back over. And what's really fascinating here is that you have the Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer, and the Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio. And what I feel with this, Cancer, is the Nine of Disc is looking at yourself. And Venus in Virgo is very fascinating. It's looking at what this relationship can bring for me, but not even for me, for we. What can this, like, what are we getting out of this? This is a card of gain here. I have a skill, you have a skill. How is that lifting up? And I feel that there's something here with the Seven of Cups that maybe some of the places that we may seek, and just analyzing the places that we seek refuge, the places in the relationships that we have with things, and not just people, with things, the things we seek refuge in as well. And have they been casting this illusion and have they been impeding change and momentum? Oops. Right, Chariot just ran away. Are they impeding this, or are they promoting this growth here, Cancer? And when it comes to people, when I say like, what do we have to gain from this? It's not coming from a user type of way. It's just like, how are we showing up in this? What's the energy that's going into this? Like, is there this... Have things gotten a little like something feels different with the Seven of Cups here. Like and again, the Seven of Cups can be an option card, and that's not where I feel like this is going. It's not coming from it's an evaluation type of space when I'm getting with this, like that Venus in Virgo. We're just kind of analyzing our relationships and like, oh, such and such, like maybe this could be like we're going through context, for example, like, oh, I haven't spoken with them in a couple of years. Is that something where I want to reach out, or do I maybe need to make a little space for that? And if they happen to reach out, cool, but if not, then that's relationship has probably run its course. So like we've gotten what we've needed from that at that time on both ends, Cancer. And that's where, or this could be where we're going through our relationship, maybe through even kind of like holding on to things, like maybe even like hoarding, or for example, and not even just like in a physical hoarding. Like I was just thinking about, I was going through my emails not too long ago. I'm making it a ritual each new moon to just kind of do some sort of cleanup, when it comes with Taurus, probably, yes, how can I make my space more peaceful? How do I get things, feel things get more, a little more grounded. I actually I got an idea. There's a room that I'm going to do some things with. It's going to be real exciting. But just some things like that, Cancer. And I feel this is the time to make sure that we're investing in things that are promoting this change, that are promoting this growth. It's nice for that familiarity, but things do evolve, is what I'm getting with this as well. And I feel like it's paying attention, is the things that are they evolving with you, Cancer? So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. A little something to think about. But if you like that, Cancer, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Cancer, if you know someone who's been maybe seeking refuge in questionable places. Maybe there's been maybe a tower moment getting ready to, it might be, it might be with this full moon. It's yeah, share this, Cancer, if you just know someone who, maybe a little, and subscribe there, you chariot. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last few things that Cancer, again, if you want to know how this energy is working with this chart when your moon is transiting through different signs, how you can work with your, kind of get into the flow of you. What are some things like, and how things change when you get into a cycle there, and being patient with that growth there, I will admit I was getting real, I'm real excited about this, how things are evolved. I want this eclipse, all this eclipse stuff to happen right now, but I got a whole year to think about, like, and things to come, and things are already kind of coming there, Cancer. It's been working very, very, very nicely so far. So it's like as you get into the flow, and it's not to say that there haven't been challenges there, Cancer. This Mercury retrograde kind of caught me up a little bit, and it's squaring some of my Cancer placements. It's actually, when we're talking about this, Mercury's about, it's not going to form an exact. I think it's going to be within they'll be within about 6 minutes of my sun placement again. So it's like it's got up to that point, and that's the start of my Cancer placements is my sun, and then it'll hit my Chiron again at towards the end. Hit my what else is it? Couple other Cancer placements, or wherever the hell my Cancer placements are at, but it's just like knowing that type of stuff and working with those energies and seeing how it's fascinating when you can see the correlations there. And I was actually just talking with someone else, they're going through another similar thing, and it's a lot. It's Scorpio, but at least it gives you a chance to start asking these questions now, so it doesn't doesn't catch you off guard. You see it ahead of time there, Cancer, and can really get in tune with those energies. So, and then if that resonates with you, all that information is down in the description box and on and I'm going to do I got some other ideas that I want to expand on as well. I'm trying not to, I know I can take on too much, so I got to be mindful of that too, and get myself more, I got all this heat and I want to tackle all the things. So, 5 stacks of Leo, what you going to do? And after we get done taking your chart, the Cancer come up to my other channel, Alchemist State. I'm going to start doing just some, I got some ideas there too that I want to do. Start doing some like shorts and things, and doing a collaboration got pitched to me. It's still in a very, very, very nascent phase of it. We'll see where that's going with that. So, but I got some ideas that I want to do over there as well. And all housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your spreads, guys, here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. Absolutely. Prince of Disc here. How interesting. And granted, we don't got the Hierophant here, but we got the Prince of Cups though. And the Prince of Disc is Taurus for me. So you got Taurus and Scorpio here, and the princes are the knight in this deck. And I feel this Prince of Disc is kind of I feel like he's a planner. The Prince of Discs doesn't like to be caught off guard. Like, granted, we can't prepare for everything. The journey's going to go how it's going to go, but it's just like, if we can at least understand the flavor of what it might be, we can better get prepared. It's like preparing to go outside. It's like, there's a 60% chance of rain. I don't have to take an umbrella, but I also can't be surprised if it rains, because you know what I mean. But it gives you this. I feel this Prince of Disc is just figuring out where things are going forward, and really kind of do the things that you, again, seek refuge in. Do they keep you grounded, or are they working against your plans? Are they slowing your energies down? What's that looking like, Cancer? Oh, interesting. Thank you. Oh, very interesting, Cancer. So you got the six. Oh, okay, we're taking both of the cards. But you have the 16th card here, which is the Coyote Spirit. So, and this is Trust in Divine Detours. And then you have the Porcupine Spirit, which is a card of Time for Beginner Mind. And, Cancer, I feel with all this 16 energy, big focus on the Tower. The Tower's not anything to fear, Cancer. Towers are divine detours. When we think about like squares and oppositions and things, and yes, they can be tensor aspects, but they end up being blessings in disguise, because it's just like, there are times where I think, like, could astrology have come into my life sooner? I would have loved that. But then I also think, would I have appreciated it then? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's like it was. But I do feel like there's something new that this Tower energy is bringing. There's some changes that are happening, some actions that maybe you're taking. That maybe you've been sensing with Mars being in Pisces and Mars forming trines with your Cancer placements. And if you have any other Cancer placements, maybe something, if it hasn't been necessarily trining, let's say, I feel like trines are unique ones, because they can be something that you miss. It can just feel like a nice feeling, but I feel like there's something here where the energies are trying to take you somewhere new, and it's time to trust in that detour. And maybe it's in this new direction. It may feel like a Tower moment in the micro, but in the macro, it turns out to be something totally. Best example I can think of this, Cancer. When I made a very odd decision at the time to get divorced, and I just needed to find myself. There was nothing wrong with my marriage, and we still talked. Actually, we ended up getting back together, and then things have been flowing smoother than before. But I needed a time to find myself, and I didn't have the language at the time, and thankfully they took me back. But I didn't have the language at the time, and but something told me, it was just like, I need to do this. And it was a Tower moment. I did end up losing a friend of a long time, and I ended up gaining a couple of friends actually, and I learned some things from the previous, and I've taken the gifts from the one that has run its course, and and I am letting this be, so everything is all new, and how I'm showing up in relationships now, and both in friends and in partnership, and so it's a weird, precarious time for all of us, Cancer, but I feel that this is a time to be open to divine detours, to trusting those intuitive nudges, and it'll make sense in hindsight's 2020, Cancer. And I know that may not be heartening in the moment, but let that be an indicator that it does make sense in the grand scheme of things, and that you do have, to always have free will with this change here, Cancer. How you go about this change, but I'm gonna leave it there. But you stay mindful out there, stay aware. Be mindful too. Just I feel like I'm getting just with Mars and Scorpio showing up here and the Five of Cups being here, which is Mars and Scorpio. I feel like there's something here. Be careful about repressing things, Cancer, and not dealing with stuff because Scorpio can spiral with that energy if we're not mindful with that. Excuse me. And then keep eyes on the moon, Cancer. Feel her out there. Stay connected with her. And I will catch you on the next one. Tomorrow, Mars Day.